Good evening, everyone, and welcome again to another episode of Couples Talk. So, this evening, we have this wonderful topic. Every week we pick a topic that we think is inspiring and it will help each person who is viewing to learn something more or to encourage you more in your marriage. So this evening's topic, we're talking about something that you're wondering. You know, think about it this way: you got married, the honeymoon phase is over, the reality of marriage has settled in, and now you're wondering what's going on. I'm married to this person. We're having conflicts, we're having issues. Things don't seem to be getting along. And we're wondering, did I make the right decision? Am I sure I married the right person? And then you wonder to yourself, I think it's over. I should move on. But I want you to know that there is hope. These things do happen. Sometimes there's simple issues that we encounter before marriage, but we didn't pay attention to it until we got married. So now that we're at a crossroad, one, then did we make a mistake? It's not a matter of that. It's just a matter of that maybe we didn't do what we were supposed to do before. But even during your marriage, you can still resolve these issues and even create peace in the home. So our topic this evening for you is we're just going to highlight 3 points, 3 things I wish I knew before marriage.
I think for most persons, sometimes you just wish you had a time machine that you could go back in time to, correct things that you thought it would have just made things easier. Unfortunately, we don't have a time machine, and the best time to put some of these things into practice is now. And I would say there's a lot we could probably say we wish we knew before marriage, but these three just stood out for us. So number one, financial planning. A lot of times we think we know what each other thinks about financing or about money or philosophy, but over time we've come to realize that the whole idea of money, we may both come from a different perspective. We both have handled and think of money differently. And depending on what type of habits you have, you may think, well, this is my money, this is your money, even at the best of circumstances. I mean, when we started, we decided to have joint accounts and so forth, but there was still, on a deep level, we did not plan and look at our goals and how our day-to-day planning, budgeting, the tools to use, and to be very strategic about how are we going to utilize the funds that we both have to meet our long-term goals. So I wish we had spent more time on using some of the principles of financial planning as we started out. I think we would have been able to achieve a lot more in a shorter time if we were basically on the same page about what we're doing with our funds. What are the long-term goals we have? What are the short-term goals we want to accomplish? And do we understand the difference between a liability, something that's going to be taken from us or so on, in comparison to an investment? What about you, Charlotte?
Oh, that's something that many persons fail to discuss before marriage: finances. We might think, yeah, I love this person, we're going into this marriage, everything is going to be great. But many times we don't discuss savings and investments. We don't discuss personal debt because one person or even both might come into the marriage with personal debt. Now, you might say, I don't need to talk about it, but then when you're married, your debt becomes my debt, unfortunately. So now we both have to deal with the struggles. And that's something that many times we fail to discuss and it creates issue. I'm having conversations with many older persons who have been married more than 20 years. And some have even highlighted that they have encountered that same struggle, still encountering it because they didn't discuss finances before. They still don't discuss finance because it's my money, your money. There's no bonding, there's no cooperation in terms of we're working together in a financial goal. So many times you're not able to achieve more because they didn't discuss these things and they still don't discuss it or they don't even understand the principle of financial planning because two heads are always better than one.
Yeah, indeed. And we've used some tools over the years that has really helped us. We've done a few videos on budgeting, financial planning, or so forth. We will place some links in these videos. So if you're watching it, look in the description. and you will see links to some of our previous videos that dealt with financial planning. The second thing, Charlotte.
Value of spending time with each other. This one is important to me. Why? Because I, even though I'm an introvert, I like companionship, and I mean one on one, maybe small groups. So when we got married, it was important for me to bond or understand Joshua better. So I realized in order to do some of that and to get him on the same page as I needed to be on, I would have got involved in some of the hobbies that he liked. Now he loves playing pool. Now I have dabbled in pool before we got married. So for me, it was like, okay, I can learn something more about pool. So I began going out with him and playing pool. And because doing that, it bonded us together. So at least I know when we're going out, we're doing things together. And he was more excited to take me out to play pool because I mean he had a partner to play pool with. Another hobby he has is playing basketball, watching basketball. And I mean, I grew up learning, watching some basketball. I didn't play, but I had an idea of what the game involved. So I found it interesting that okay, this is a good way for us to bond. So by us doing this together, because he loves activities, it created an environment where we could do things together. And even by doing that, I think he became a little bit more cooperative and doing some of the things that I love to do. So like taking drives, sightseeing. Well, he loves traveling now, so we do that a lot together and those things. So it helps us to bond more together by spending quality time. Now I'm saying I do love gifts. He loves to buy me gifts. So I am not saying I do not want my gifts, but I'm saying that it's important that we discuss this thing and engage in these activities. And this is one of the challenges that many persons might encounter because before marriage, they might state what is important to them. And then when they get married, you expect the man, I'm speaking from the woman's perspective, to understand or to interpret that this is what I need and want. But he may not even understand it because it might not have been an issue before. So now it becomes an issue. So these are things we need to take into consideration that even though we didn't discuss it before marriage, we can still take some time to discuss what is important to me so we can both be on the same page.
I think for me, it's not just that you don't appreciate quality time, just that you sometime put the financial objectives of the marriage sometime over quality time. What does that mean? For me, I had a significant desire to provide for my family. And with that, it means that you're going to prioritize work. You understand that I'm working hard to provide for the family. And in doing so, you would expect that your spouse will just understand. I'm doing this for us. I mean, that's the reason why I'm working all these late hours. I want to work these hours so that I could maybe buy an expensive gift and so on. And you're thinking, okay, if I work all this, I buy an expensive gift. You will much prefer if I don't take up the extra overtime, things like that, only to realize that, Shawnee would have much preferred if I would have taken the priority to spend more time with each other over trying to make more money. I think everyone will appreciate a nice gift, but not at the expense that you don't get to know the person or to spend time with that person that they're working to get you all. So I think it really requires to have more conversations with each other in terms of what's really important to you and why we may need to simplify some of our lifestyle so that we could really make memories that over time, that's what you're going to have. All the expensive things you purchase, they're going to go at some point. The memories, though, that you have are going to live forever. And if you can just take some more time to recognize what's really important for each of you. Right? And the third one, and as I said, we only wanted to emphasize on three, is how to handle conflicts. And, I will start here because, and for everyone, it's going to be different. You have to take time to understand your partner and what we might have had conflict with. You may not have those conflicts, but there is one thing I see, especially I speak to male friends and colleagues and so forth. Men don't take too kind to talking about problems. One of the most dreadful thing you can say to your husband is, honey, we need to talk. Those words just send off alarm bells in a man's head, and right away he's on the defensive. And even though Charlene may be just trying to talk about a problem, something that is affecting her, I'm already thinking it's about me. I'm the problem. I'm the issue, and it might just be in a problem that is affecting the overall marriage, and is not necessarily an issue that I am facing. So specifically for men, there are times that we have to be able to differentiate between a problem that we have and criticism. And this is not my partner criticizing me, but she's alerting me to a problem that we're having. Maybe the bills are just racking up too high, and it could be on both parts. Maybe we have to look together at how we could work on this and solve this problem. So from a conflict resolution perspective, a lot of times it's going to tie into communication. It's going to tie into how do we really get there. But one of the strategies I've recognized is I really need to do my best to listen to understand. A lot of times I am hearing the issue and I'm looking to defend, and I'm looking to come back, and I'm looking to win the argument. I wish I would have taken more time to simply recognize that we're on the same team. And separate the problem that we're facing from your spouse, and just focus on how do we solve this together, and for a moment recognize that my spouse is not just trying to criticize me. About you, Sean?
One of the things that I want to highlight, I spoke about it in devotion today, is in terms of how we relate to each other when there's an issue. Women love to talk. We love to talk things out. We have an issue, we want to talk it out. Now, many times, even before a relationship, we never paid attention to these signs that we want to talk, but the man doesn't want to talk. So you're thinking, he has a problem. He doesn't love me, doesn't care about me, he doesn't want to discuss the issue. But what we've learned to realize is that women are talkers, so we need to talk out the problem at that moment. Men now need to process the information. So they now need a break. They need to take some time, maybe a few hours a day, to process what the issue was. And I think a lot of times, because we don't understand that, is where we have a lot of accelerated conflict. Because we have an issue we need to deal with. But it gets worse because we don't realize, we don't communicate and understand the way that how we deal with conflicts or deal with situation is different. Now, this would apply for most men and most women, but many times we don't discuss it, so we don't know. So I'm letting you know, women who are talkers and their husband is not, unless, of course, he's one of those who avoids it completely, that's a different story. But many times men just need time to process the information. So give them time to process it. And men, say to your wives, I just need some time to process the information. I just need some time to understand what's being discussed. And let us discuss it a later day. Give him that time to process it. Take the break. You even analyze what it is you're thinking. And you will bet when you discuss it at a calmer moment, you'll be able to resolve it easier. Now, this strategy works because we actually tried it, because I want it now and he doesn't answer. And I'm like, what's going on? And then I realized, oh, he's processing it. And then he'll come back and say, we need to talk, and we discuss, and we realize, okay, this was the problem. It takes some work because this is our innate response to things, but it's something that we can practice, and it does get better with time. Women, discuss with your husbands. Husbands, discuss with your wives. Take time to deal with the issue to reduce the accelerated issues of more conflict with situations that you need to deal with.
All right. So these were just our 3 things that we wish we knew before marriage. Number 1, financial planning. And again, we will share a link to some of our previous videos in the description. Number 2, value each other. Value the time that you spend with each other over some of the money that you could earn. Because at the end of the day, the material things will fade, and you're going to really want to lean into the memories you've created. And, handling conflict is a wide area, but for us, if you can simply listen to understand, try to separate dealing with a problem than criticism, I think you will go a far way. If you're watching this and you haven't done so already, please remember to like and subscribe, click that notification bell if you're on YouTube. So when we post more video, you will be notified, and share this video with someone so it could be a blessing to them. Just before we go, we wanted to share a scripture text that may be an inspiration to you, one that that inspires us. And Charlene, this is taken from Ecclesiastes chapter 4, verse 9. And what does it say?
2 are better than 1 because they have a good reward for their labor. So if you both come together and plan financially, you'll do better. If you both spend time with each other, you'll do better. And if you both learn how to handle conflict, you'll both do better.
All right. Thank you for joining us, and you will see us next week.
Goodbye, everyone.